I am joined here by three absolute rock stars at what they do. You're going to want to tune in. You don't want to miss this. We're talking about monetizing your message, turning your passion into profit. Anybody out there feel like they're still trying to hone their message? Like they have an audience, they're kind of grasp it, but don't fully connect with what it is they want to put out there yet? These three people are the best in the world at this, I'm telling you. So I'm joined now by three incredible individuals. I'm going to kind of go down the line here, do a quick introduction, and then they'll be able to share more about what they do. Miss Venus Moore, who's an absolute rock star. I know
Hi.
She had a big long
Hello,
line
everyone,
here.
and welcome. You guys having fun? All right, let's get into it.
She had a big long line here, getting pictures. She's an absolute rock star, guys. Powerful coach, motivator, community leader, who has turned her lived experiences into programs, partnerships, and platforms that inspire and activate others.
Yes.
Can't wait to hear more from Venus. My buddy David Sherman Presser, if you don't know David, absolute master at what he does in digital space and so many other amazing ventures. Entrepreneur, strategist, known for helping fitness brands and professionals identify scalable models. Key word, operative word, scalable. He's going to talk a lot about that. He helps them structure their offerings and create long-term revenue streams. Welcome, David. Yeah. Is David's mic on, guys? Okay, try turn it back on.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We got him. All right. We're going to want that mic hot. He's got a lot of awesome things to say. And then Rena, my newest friend. I just met her today, but she's incredible. Rena Vocone, founder and CEO of Passion Fit, a wellness brand built on education, digital content, and community. Who here is trying to build a community? Let's go.
Hey.
Rena's got some stuff. Rena's going to guide us. She specializes in helping professionals connect passion with purpose in a way that drives real business growth. We love being personal trainers, right? But let's make some money while we're at it, right?
Yes.
So that's what we're here to do, guys. We're monetizing our passion. We're already doing what we love. Let's make some money while we're doing it, okay? Venus's first question's for you.
Of course it is.
All right, so there's so much noise out there, right?
Sure.
People clamoring for clicks and follows. Many coaches struggle with a quality message they want to share. How can someone discover the story or perspective that makes their voice unique while still contributing to this industry?
I love that. Your story matters. Sharing your story matters. Sharing the story of your journey matters. Can I share my story quickly?
Please.
Okay. When I first moved to Los Angeles back in 2011, I decided to pursue acting and modeling when I first got here, because of course we're in LA, right? So being in that business, it was great for me, but I felt like something else was calling me, even though I was having a great run at it. And then on my third fiance, and I say that laughingly because that's why I moved to LA, I was engaged. And then that relationship did not end up working out. So now I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm in LA. He's the only person I know. What am I going to do? How am I going to stay here or am I going to go back home? So during that time, things kept happening where I would be in different spaces and someone would ask me, are you a trainer? Are you a trainer? Because through acting and working out, through acting I was working out. And of course, I'm being mindful of my fitness. And so people would always ask me, are you a trainer? And so I'm like, no, at that time, I didn't realize that was the Lord speaking to me. So I ended up leaving the acting and modeling business and then, of course, still seeking my next direction. And again, it kept happening to me. I would be in different spaces and people would ask me, are you a trainer? Are you a trainer? And I'm just like, why do people keep asking me, am I a trainer? Again, the calling is there if you happen to open up your ears and to listen to it. So one day I was at a nail salon and there was a young woman that was there and I walked in, I just came from a hike on Runyon Canyon. So I had my little two-piece on and I was looking cute. So she looks up at me and she's like, oh my God. She's like, you look amazing. She's like, my 40th birthday is coming up in a couple months and I need a trainer. Are you a trainer? I looked at her as I was still grasping for my direction and figuring out what my next steps were. And I said, yes, I'm a trainer. And so she's like, well, give me your number. She's like, I'm gonna give you a call when I'm ready in a couple months. Now, I didn't know if she was gonna call me or not, but in that moment, I owned that small voice that had been calling me to this, that I had been ignoring because I was distracted by a lot of other things. See, sometimes we think we know what our direction is, but until we're actually on that path and aligned, things are not going to line up for you. So I said, okay, Venus, you said you're a trainer, let's figure this out. So I started looking into certifications, and then I started working on myself even more. During that time, my results got better and better, and I became more educated on it, and I actually found a passion for it. Guess what? She called me a couple months later. I'm like, hey, and I was ready at that point. So we get into training, and I train her. And she was my only client because the Lord says, what you do with the one, I will multiply by the many. She was my only client. 5 days a week we were working out. In 2 months, I put her on a meal plan. We were training. She dropped 30 pounds. So by the time that her birthday came around, she looked absolutely incredible. So she walks into her 40th birthday with this red dress on, looking amazing, and I'm with her. And her family had no idea she was on a health journey. So when she walked in looking incredible, everybody's like, oh my God. You know, they were blown away. And they were like, what did you do? Oh my God. They were like, well, she's like my trainer. This is my trainer, Venus. I've been working with her for the past few months, and she helped me get these great results. And everyone was like, oh my God. They just, everyone was so excited. I left out of that birthday party with over 15 new contacts.
Oh my goodness.
And that is how Body by Venus began. Literally. And from that point, and helping others find their greatness, find their path, help them get great results, my business has just multiplied over the years. And I literally found my calling in something that I was initially denying. So in order to find your purpose, your story matters. You need to listen to those things that are around you because it's there if you open up your mind to it. And I am so grateful that I listened to that calling, stepped into it, and here I am today, Body by Venus, 15 years now into this game. And I'm super excited for the next direction and where I'm headed. So yeah, God is good.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, that deserves a round of applause.
Well, thank you.
I did not know that story, but that's absolutely incredible.
No.
You had the courage to say yes in that moment.
Yeah, when I didn't know what my next step was. That's called faith, guys. Blind faith. Sometimes you have to take a step out on faith, even when you can't see the end of the road. Just to know that if you do take that step and it's the right step, you're going to find your next direction with it.
Wow.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Okay, so many more cool nuggets that I want to glean from this group because they have so much to share. So we heard really good, obviously, motivation and belief in stepping into yourself. I want David to share a little bit about the technical, the X and the O's, because this guy's a brilliant strategist. David, what clues in your own journey helped you realize you had something valuable that you wanted to teach and share others? And then tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Sure, so I'll start there. I worked at YouTube for 7 years. I had a team of product marketers. We built most of the monetization products on the platform. And so I'm passionate about the health and fitness space. I'm a health and fitness nut. I'm also passionate about helping small businesses and creator economy. And there's so many more tools and products and ways to build audiences out there on YouTube and other platforms. So this is what I'm really passionate about. I mean, in terms of kind of figuring out how I wanted to kind of be in this space and what I wanted to do. So, at YouTube, a lot of the product marketing role is simplifying and creating structure around kind of complex products and features and brands. Like what we talk about in the tech space is like no one, if you have a super fancy product and it has, whatever, like I'm not a technical person, it has all this horsepower and AI and large language models, blah, blah, blah. People don't really care about that. They care about the benefits. Like what benefit are they going to get from your features? And so a lot of what we did as product marketers is I'd sit in a room with engineers and product managers, and they'd talk about all of this very technical stuff, and I'd say, okay, how are we going to think about the end user and the benefit that they're going to get from all of the great engineering work that's happening? And so this is what I did for many years, and this is my favorite thing, is like simplifying and making complex ideas and products and concepts simpler. And so when I left YouTube last year, I started a company called Structure Creation because I tell people I have no creative bones in my body. Everyone here is more creative than me. It's like I'm so amazed when I go into the space and I'm, in the creator economy and the creativity that exists out there. I am not one of those people. I'm a structure creator. And so, a lot of the times it's about when you're thinking through your business, who's your target audience, what's your value proposition. It's about, how do you simplify a message and how do you connect it to a target audience? And I think it's even more important these days because there is so much information and we are kind of pulled in so many different directions. Like a stat YouTube puts out there is that there's 500 hours of video uploaded to YouTube every single minute. That's like a mind-boggling statistic. And so it's like we are bombarded with so much information. There's so much noise. How do you figure out kind of what your value proposition is, what makes you special, unique, and different? And how do you explain it to someone in the simplest, kind of quickest, cleanest way possible? So that's kind of what I did for many years at YouTube, and now that's what I do with people in this space, and it's what I enjoy doing.
Awesome. Very cool. Rena, my new friend.
Yes.
She has such an amazing company and story as well. And I know when I started in the fitness industry, and I've talked to some other younger coaches here, this can be really daunting and kind of scary when you step into a place and there's all these established professionals and he's doing these really big things. It's like, man, I want to do that, but maybe you're lacking the confidence in that moment. What would you say to these new coaches that they're in that place? They know they want to make their next move. They have that inkling of belief, very much like Venus shared, and they're ready for that next step. They want to step out. Like, take us through, because I know she's got an amazing video on TEDx, guys. You should really watch Rena's video on TEDx. It's incredible. But how did you find that confidence, and how would you in turn give that to these young trainers that are looking for that as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. And thank you for the shout out. I want to give a shout out to David here because I'm working with him, helping. He's my YouTube strategist and he's amazing.
Hold on,
so
I work with David too. I work with David too.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
David's about to get
really
a bunch
good.
of clients right now, guys.
So yeah, I think, it is something, confidence is something that sometimes comes from within, but sometimes it just comes with experience and understanding yourself from the inside out. So I think the most important thing is to know your own strengths and really take a look at what your passions are, what your current skills are, and what you want to gain. What are the things that maybe you still don't have that you need in order to succeed? For me, I had a 16-year corporate career. I worked for companies like Google and Reebok and Yahoo, and it took me years to build my skill set and my confidence in that area, but all the while, I had this passion for health and wellness and fitness. I have been a fitness instructor since I was a freshman in college, and I just for fun and on the side, and I have been teaching yoga, Pilates, bar, boot camp, high intensity interval training, and dance since I was 18 years old. I've taught through college, I've taught through graduate school, I taught through my corporate career, through motherhood. I'm a mom of 2 boys with my husband, and through entrepreneurship, and I still teach 8 classes a week. And so for me, when I was stepping out of what I knew of the corporate world and wanted to follow a passion, and really it came as a result of burnout. I was a working mom. My boys are now 18 and 15, but they were like 3 and 6 at the time. And I really wanted to help other people because I realized we're all trying to be our best. We are all trying to find that balance in our lives. And I experienced burnout, and I realized I'm not the only one that's experiencing this. And I want to go back to something that I know I'm passionate about and I do feel confident in, and that's in health and wellness and fitness. So I took that leap of faith, left everything I knew to start from scratch. So for those of you that are out there that are just starting new, I feel you and I get it, and it can be scary. But I think for me, and what I hope for you, is that when you're so passionate about what you want to do, you want to help people, you want to make a strong impact in the world, that sense of conviction is something that nobody can take away from you. So, okay, maybe you need to get some certifications, maybe you need to go back to school, maybe you need to get more work experience. That's okay, because if you have a clear vision and a true north of what it is that you want to do, that is going to lead you into the directions that you need to go in, and that will sort of be your guidepost as to how to get from point A to point be. So I would just say stay true to yourselves, really find what it is that you want to do and make sure that there are people out there that maybe need that support as well, and they can learn from your experiences. And if you fail, I know there was some discussion about failure earlier. If you fail along the way, that's okay. Those are your greatest teachers. So allow yourself to learn and grow. And honestly, the confidence is going to come through each and every experience. And none of us, no matter who we are not going to be confident 100% of the time. We're all going to get nerves. We're all going to feel out of our comfort zone. But that's when we know we're continuing to learn and grow and push ourselves. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable and get comfortable with having your confidence kind of rise and fall through different situations. But if that deep foundation of who you are and your passions and your skills and your knowledge and what you want to bring out into the world is true and good, then that will see you through any unconfident day that you might be feeling.
Amazing. Incredible. If we don't get beat, we can't get better, right? Anybody like the Rocky movies? I love the Rocky movies, right? He had to lose to Apollo Creed to become Rocky, right? And taking those losses, taking those hits, that only makes us better. So incredible. I love that, Rena. Okay, this is so good, you guys. I want to dig in a little bit because some of these young coaches out there, they have an inkling of an idea they want to do. They have a pretty good idea at what they're good at, but how do they actually turn that into a product, an app, their next move, right? So how can these coaches turn that knowledge into tangible things or intangible that people want to pay for? So this is a question for everyone. Let's start with David. He's got something in the hopper.
Well,
you guys need to listen to this.
Start, and then I'm sure Rena and Venus will build off this. So I would encourage everyone to think like a tech company. And so, you know, the name of the game is like how fast can you get to market and how fast can you get kind of like validation on your idea, validation or feedback. And so I've talked about this in some other forums. And so I think if you have an idea or you have a modality or you have an app in mind, put it out there in a, you know, what kind of the tech world will call like a MVP, like a minimum viable product way of like, maybe it's a YouTube video, maybe it's an Instagram reel, maybe it's a blog post and you're like explaining it, and get people's feedback, because that's going to cost you nothing and you're going to be able to get instant feedback. And then you can determine if that resonates with people, if some of it resonates, if some doesn't. And it's just, I don't think you want to spend, months and months kind of like tweaking and kind of, I know other people have been up here and talked about analysis paralysis. You want to get something out in the world, you want to get feedback, and you want to get it ideally validated before you start investing and like really refining it.
Yeah, I would agree. Dave and I both were at Google at different times, but there's a term called launch and iterate that we used to talk about at Google. And I think that there is something to that, right? You do want to launch something, but you do want to test the market first. So I think one of the biggest things is think about your story. Think about a challenge that you might have faced in your personal or your professional life, because chances are other people are going to have that same struggle, right? And so you want to be able to go out and solve a problem in the marketplace. You want to take people's pain points and you want to show them that you get it, you understand it, and you have a solution. But before you can do that, I agree, you need to put something out there that's small, but that's value add. Maybe you even take a survey. I actually did that. I put together a SurveyMonkey survey and just surveyed some people in my community that had taken some of my fitness classes when I was still working at Google and digital marketing and media, but teaching on the side, just to kind of understand, okay, this is what I think people might need that are similar to me. In my instance, it was the profile of a professional working mom who's burnt out, who's trying to, find balance and go back to wellness and find her way back to something that can uplift her. So I asked a series of questions and I was able to get some really good feedback. And when you get that, then you can take it to help reiterate that whole launch and iterate and keep reiterating until you get to something. And it's not going to be perfect, right? You also have to. I know there was some talk in one of the last panels about perfectionism. I am a recovering perfectionist myself, but you have to get to the point where it's like you just go. You put something out there, try not to be afraid, because no matter what people say, it's going to be a learning lesson, right? And then you can continue to build. And maybe the first thing you do, for me, the first thing I put out was I was still working at Google, but I started blogging. Now it's probably more Substack and some of the other things. But I created a blog. Then I launched my YouTube channel. And those were the first two things that I did. This was back in 2014 before I made the leap and finally left my corporate career, because I just wanted to start to get content out there. And once you do that, then you can decide, okay, do I want to create an online course? Do I want to create a webinar? Do I want to start doing speaking? Do I want to create an actual product or an app or a technology platform? Those things are going to require a lot more investment, right? So those things might come later in your journey as an entrepreneur if you want to start your own fitness business. But start with something small and then keep building from there until you feel like you have something that can really help people and that's going to allow you to grow and scale down the road.
May I
Please.
add on to that?
Please, please.
In addition to everything that they shared, I also feel that it starts with you. You got to get your results. You have to be something that people want to look at and also be inspired by, because that's what's really going to sell, is people seeing that you are authentically doing those things that you are selling, seeing that you've actually done the work, seeing the evidence of it within you. And when people are able to see that evidence within you, they are 10 times more confident that you can take them from point A to point B. Hey, I can actually invest in this program, this product, this online coaching program, and I'm actually going to see the results I want to see, because she doesn't look like that by accident. He doesn't look like that by accident. There was work that went into that. There was discipline that was applied. And that is where the confidence comes from. So be the attraction factor in addition to all those other things, and make sure that you show up authentically. That is what people buy into. They're not going to, if you're trying to sell something and people can't see that it's something that you actually do yourself or have actually gone through, it's a lot more difficult, in my opinion. But if you're actually showing up in evidence, again, of what you're selling, I think it makes it 10 times more easier to put yourself in a position where people are going to buy into it, because it's something that they actually see that you're doing. You're not just selling it. You're walking the walk and you're talking the talk. And I think that, in addition to all the other tools, will makes your journey very powerful, makes what you're trying to do very powerful as well.
Love that. And that totally resonates, the authenticity, right?
Yes.
I want to hit on that a little bit more, and we'll just go right down the line, because Venus, I want you to pick up.
Okay.
Where is the right starting point, right? Because did you guys notice the three commonalities? They had the courage to have the jumping off point. Both of them had crazy good jobs at Google. You know, they left that to be entrepreneurial, to go on their own. Venus decided that, hey, so many people keep asking me a trainer. You know what? I'm just going to be a trainer, right? But they each had these unique starting points. So for these coaches who are building that next step in their business, what is that right starting point for them? How do they identify that?
For me, your passion is going to lead you there. You have to find those things that you're passionate about. And for me, it was really locking into the journey. It was trial and error. It was seeing what worked and what didn't work. And whenever I would go places, people would look at me and just be like, okay, wow, what are you doing? I want to work with you. And it became a lot easier when I was walking the talk of what I was trying to create as far as being a trainer. So that, and being authentic in that space, I believe, is truly what helped me move my business forward. Again, people want to have the confidence that what you are teaching them is something that you've actually done. And I think that when that happens, they're able to really lock in with you.
Yeah. Rena, same question. Where would you identify that starting point? If the coach says, well, when do I start? What's my starting point?
Yeah, I think, well, the starting point, it's kind of a when question and a what question, right? When do you do it and what are you going to do? I think the when question, I mean, there is no perfect time to do it, right? And I always, I have the philosophy of you never want to regret anything, right? You never want to look back and say, gosh, I wish I would have done this. So I would say there will come a point, if it's something that you're thinking about, you can start with maybe, as we were talking about earlier, something small, right? And you could even still keep your day job. How many of you have a day job and you're looking to leave and start a business? Okay, there's a good group of you over here. So I get that, right? And it can be scary to just completely take a leap of faith. And I have kind of a funny, very quick story about that. When I left, I was, in the middle of my career, a mom, a wife, and my dad has always been my biggest career cheerleader. But he said, "Wait, so you're going to leave Google and your corporate career to become a fitness instructor full time?" I'm like, "Well, I'm going to have fitness classes. Fitness is going to be a part of it, but I have a bigger vision, right? I wanted holistic wellness from day one, so I went back even after grad school to get certified as a health coach and a nutrition specialist and a behavior change specialist, and then the fitness instruction certifications I had been doing for years. So I went and got that education that I needed, right? But then I said, no, so I want this to be a holistic business. I want to focus on consumer and corporate wellness because I came from corporate and I see a lot of burnout and a lot of people ignoring their health and well-being, and it's a real problem. So he said, as if I were a 16-year-old again, "I want to see a full business plan. You're not allowed to leave your career, your corporate career, until I see you." And I'm like, "It's okay, Dad. I have a business plan. I know what I'm doing." But I think sometimes it is just having a sense of what it is that you want to ultimately do, and you don't have to have it all figured out, but have an idea, have somewhat of a plan in place, and then just take that step to do something small whenever you feel it. And sometimes the conviction is stronger than others. For me, there just came a point where there was no turning back. Once I made the decision that I wanted to go launch my own health and wellness company, and I knew that it was where my heart was, and it was going to help with work-life balance, I was going to have more time with my kids, I was going to get to help people on a greater scale, I just went for it. So that time may or may not come. All of us are different. Some of you, again, you may be tiptoeing a little bit, doing your day job and your side gig, but my hope is that at some point, it's just going to come at you like a ton of bricks, and you're going to feel so excited and so passionate and so strong about doing it that, like I said, there's no turning back. So just don't be afraid to take that first step and start, and have a plan. Maybe have a plan A and a plan B, so then you maybe won't be as fearful to take that step.
Awesome. David, is there any meat left on this bone, or you want a new question?
I'll add one quick thing.
Yeah,
I'll add two quick things. I would say from a starting point, I would encourage everyone to do what I would call either like a content market fit exercise or a product market fit exercise. So essentially, you're thinking about what's your value proposition, which I know what a lot of people have talked about, and Venus talks about the importance of authenticity. So what makes you unique, special, and different? What does a competitive space look like? Because there are so many trainers, there's so many health companies, so many wellness companies. So what does competitive space look like? And then what are the trends? So that's kind of like high-level analysis. Then you move into more of kind of a strategic exercise where you're thinking through what are different audiences that exist out there, so segmentation, and who's your target audience. So who's the audience? If they see your offering or see your video online, they're going to choose you over all the other competition. And then that informs your, as we call the 4 Ps of marketing: price, product, promotion, and placement. But I think that's just a really good kind of like tool and kind of framework to start, of like you have kind of an outline of who you are, what's the competition, who's your target audience, and how that informs your kind of like final product or go-to-market strategy.
Awesome. I see a lot of people taking notes. David's spitting some great strategy stuff. Okay, let's stay on strategy a little bit, and then I want to get back to the feel-good stuff because that stuff feels great too. David, let's stay with you. There's a lot of stuff out there, right? Oh, this is how you make money now as an influencer, as a fitness trainer. It's like, what's noise and what's actually sustainable? What are some of these models that you see gaining momentum, and what are you actually using yourself?
Yeah, so I'll give 2 parts to that answer. I think the first thing is to build a really high quality audience. And so if you're bringing in if you're building a business and you're bringing in customers, you're bringing in clients, you want them to have a really positive experience, and you want them to be loyal to you, and you want them to be, to some extent, homogenous, so somewhat similar. And so if you know that you have a perfect product or perfect offering for men that are 50 to 70 in the flexibility space, and you've done this, and the people you work with just absolutely over the moon about that, then you can go, it's easier than to go find other clients like that. So I think building a really kind of specific loyal audience is the first thing to think about. And then the second thing is, ideally you're going to have multiple streams of revenue. So when we talk about it, so YouTube, there's 10 monetization products, and to be a fitness professional is probably a little bit to being a creator, is you want to have multiple streams of revenue to have a sustainable business. And so You want to have that really high quality audience that's going to be purchasing your courses or your in-person training sessions, but then maybe you have a newsletter, maybe you have a Instagram account, and you can do brand deals, you can do a membership, you can do pay digital goods, you can do merchandise. And so like it all is dependent on that audience. Like if you have people that respect you, get value from you, love you, they are going to follow you across those different products. And to be a sustainable business or a sustainable creator or trainer, I think you need to think about, diversified revenue streams for your business.
It's a super fans, right? It's like whatever you have, they want to come along.
Yeah, and if you have, even so, I work with a lot of folks. There's a woman, Marie Steffen, she's one of the top Pilates creators in Europe. So we work together. She has almost 500,000 subscribers right now, but already she has 1,400 people paying her for her channel membership, which she does members only follow along workouts. And so already right there, she has a 6-figure business with those 1,000-ish people. And so you don't need, this is kind of what YouTube is trying to explain to a lot of creators. And we're not talking specifically to creators here, but that you don't need millions and millions of people. You just need a small, really loyal base. And if they are paying, if this is recurring revenue, if they're paying you on a monthly or a weekly basis, that's enough revenue to build, a sustainable business.
Does anybody else feel more inspired by that? That you don't need 1 million? You could have like 50 or 100 or 500. That sounds a lot more approachable, right? That gets me excited. Okay, Rena, I want to tailor the question a little bit differently for you because I have a feeling you're going to have a really good answer here. So we're in this fine line of, yes, we have a purpose, we want to help people, but we need to earn a living too, right? Like you have a family, 2 strapping young boys, a husband, right? Like you'd love to be out there just donating your time, but you have to earn some money too. How do you balance that? Like how do you put out really good content that's changing people's lives, curating these things for them, and balancing that do-gooding with, capitalism, right?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think that is often, a dilemma that a lot of us face because most of us who are in the health and wellness business, we want to help people, right? Like we truly are people who want to help others. I definitely know I'm one of them. I know all of us up here and all of you out there are as well. And I do agree with everything that's been said by Venus and David about authenticity, being true to yourself, really owning who you are because people are going to connect with that. And also finding that right target audience. I think it's important also to just, pay attention to what's happening right now and how can you reach people in the most efficient, scalable way possible. And the best way to do that is through technology, right? Media, whether it's through courses, whether it's through social media, through newsletters, some of the things, YouTube, some of the things that we've already talked about. I think, but if you can be yourself, if you can have the purpose of truly, genuinely wanting to help people, and you're thinking constantly of ways to make their lives better, and you're using technology as a medium to help you scale, then hopefully that will lead to ongoing revenue and income streams that work for your business that allow you to sustain yourself. I do agree with the comment about recurring revenue and having those monthly memberships. And there is that balance too of how much do you give up and give out there for free in the beginning. I face that. Okay, do I do speaking engagements for free? Do I put together a PDF and put that out there in my newsletter with all these great tips that I could actually be charging for? Even in my YouTube channel, I have, at the beginning, I had full workout video series that I paid a lot of money with my video production team to build, and then I was putting it out there for everybody to consume for free because I wanted to help other people. I wanted to get the content out there. I wanted to add value. So I think in the beginning, it's okay. Again, especially if you're doing this on the side and you have your day job, you can kind of play with that a little bit. But at some point, I get it. You have to earn a living. You have a business to sustain. You want to become a profitable business, and you want to have ongoing revenue so you can pay the bills and you can sleep at night. So I think it is that balance of being smart, having, pricing that makes sense, that's competitive, having a business plan that's sustainable, having recurring revenue streams, having a bunch of different product and service offerings. But then ultimately, I think if you really focus on helping people, then the money will follow and it will come. And I don't mean that to sound like all rainbows and unicorns, because I know it's a tough job market right now. I know AI is replacing a lot of jobs. There's a lot of things that are happening right now in the world that we have to be smart about, but I just think I do think you need to find that balance. And another thing that I really like to do is do charitable events, right, where I'm doing something for breast cancer awareness or American Heart Month, and because I feel good, I feel like I'm doing something that's genuinely to help other people, and people will see that, and then people are going to want to, not that you're asking to be rewarded, but people are going to want to reward you and pay you for your services and offerings because they know you're making such a positive impact. So it's a tricky balance, but it is possible, and if you stay true and have, good intentions and are, have that integrity in your business, then the rest will follow.
So we can do it. We can help our communities and make some money in the process. That's awesome.
It's possible.
Yes. Yes.
Venus, this next one's for you. And we're a little short on time, guys, but I want to get this from Venus because I don't know if you guys follow her. She has so many cool things cooking on her social media. Tell us, what's the latest? I know you launched some new stuff recently. You're getting ready to launch some new thing. Tell us what you're most excited about and, what you're really leaning into to grow your personal brand.
Wow. This is a really transitional year for me. Well, right now I'm launching a shred challenge. This is my 14th challenge. So I've done 14, yes. And it's absolutely amazing. So I teach women, it's a 4-week challenge, men and women, let me just say that. But I provide 4 weeks of great circuits and an incredible meal plan to truly help them see results within 4 weeks. And it's an amazing challenge. So that one is going on right now. I'm also right now in development with my app through Google and Apple. And so that's coming next month. So that's amazing. And that's something that, thank you so much. That's something that has been a baby of mine, something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. But it's been incredible as far as moving this platform forward and creating a global community, which is what I'm truly hoping that my app is able to do, so I can touch so many people and help them see the confidence in finding their greatness within and also transforming their lives through health and fitness. There's no downside to health and fitness. There's no downside to this wellness lifestyle whatsoever. Once you choose it and lock in, it only improves your life. And I love being able to share that and also share the journey and also help women know that it's possible. So I am 50 years old. For a lot of people don't know that or don't realize that. Yes. Hold on.
Come on. 50 years old.
Okay.
50 years old.
And my birthday is February 13th. So I don't look like this by accident, meaning I locked in back in my 30s. In my 30s is when I locked into this health and wellness journey and just decided that I wanted something better for myself. I decided that I wanted to transform and inspire others in the process, and I've been able to do that. And ever since I locked into this journey, I have never looked back. And this is evidence of that amount of time that I've invested into my health and into my wellness. And it also helps me to inspire other women, because yes, you can look like this at 50. Also, I also say thrive at any age. That's my mantra right now. Thrive at any age, meaning I want to teach women in their 20s, 30s, and 40s how they can look like this in their 50s. I want them to be able to set the tone and be able to understand that this is something that's possible. I can lock in and actually have an incredible life. And again, there's no downside whatsoever to this lifestyle. Once you choose it, it chooses you. But how bad do you want it? How consistent can you be? That is the biggest thing. Most people stop because they're not consistent. They start to get the results. It looks good to them. Then after a little bit, they're like, okay, I look good. But they don't continue. It is a consistent journey, guys, in order to stay this way and in order to have that incredible life. So I challenge everyone that says, I want this health and wellness lifestyle to lock in, stay consistent, and you will see the evidence of your hard work. It will show up for you, I promise. And I love to be the evidence of that. So, yes, Shred Challenge coming, new app coming, and global takeover for Body by Venus.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm ready to run through a wall right now. That was awesome.
Thank you.
All right. So we're real short on time. Venus, that was amazing. That was so inspirational.
Here to inspire.
Let's go. I want 1 minute quick answer from you guys. I'm going to go right down the panel here. All right. If you had an investor come to you and say, let's not even say investor. Let's say someone's going to grant you $1 billion to just go do good in the world. And fitness industry. Let's say fitness industry, wellness, health span, we'll kind of consolidate it.
Yeah.
What would you do? How would you use that money? 1 minute answer. Venus,
I would
let's
do
go.
workouts. I would offer free workouts.
Free workouts for the world.
Free workouts for the world. Yeah, and free meal plans. Teaching people how to eat clean and healthy. And teaching them to not eat the bad stuff that's putting the weight on them that they want to lose. It's the biggest thing, is the mindset. So that's what I would do. Yes.
Rena, what would you do with $1 billion?
Oh my goodness. I would solve for diabetes. That runs in my family. Something I'm always trying to be careful about, right? So solving for diabetes with more research and development and through lifestyle medicine, which is what we all coach on. And I would also provide more education and training around the world, including in India. I am first generation born Indian American, and parts of the country are booming and thriving, and it's still a third world country in many aspects. So I would love to provide more education on fitness and nutrition and overall wellness for a healthy lifestyle.
Amen.
Awesome. David, $1 billion.
Yeah, I guess I'll go out of left field a little bit. I would invest in breath work, kind of like helping people. I think, in my view, there's 4 kind of pillars of health. There's of course, diet and exercise are foundational. And then there's kind of sleep, circadian rhythm, and then kind of mindfulness, mental health. And I just think breath work is one of the tools that I have found, and I've seen it in other people's lives, that when you find breath work and you learn that the thing that we do 50,000 times a day, most people do in a way that creates a lot of stress and anxiety, you just everything opens up. So I would push out the message of breath work is good stuff.
Love it.
All right, now we just need some billionaire to come toss these guys $1 billion each. We could change the world. Guys, thank you
Change
so
the
much.
world.
Hey, was that good? You
Thank
learned some
you.
stuff? I want to thank Kathleen, Al, Elisa, the entire Coach 360 team. Where else can you get 3 rock stars like this to give so many good nuggets? Let's give them a round of hand one more time. Thanks, guys.